Hi friends and welcome back to my channel Ao Coding Kare. I hope you all are doing good. Your families are safe and healthy. All right, let's get back. Okay, before we start, let's quickly look at the problem that we discussed about last in our last video. I hope you guys got the time to work on it. If not, don't worry about it. I understand we all are busy with our busy lives, but we'll definitely solve the problem now. So let me bring up the editor. All right, so this was the expression that was given. Let's put this expression here. All right, so let's first go ahead and do whatever is in the parenthesis. So we'll say 6 plus 7 power of 2 divided by 4 into 8 minus 10 by 2 is 5 into 3. Next we are going to do, so first we did the parenthesis here. Now we are going to do the exponentiation, which is 6 plus 7 power of 2 is 49 divided by 4 into 8 minus 5 into 3. Okay, now next step we have to do division or multiplication. And how are we going to decide what we do first? Is we are going to go from left to right. Okay, so 6 plus 49 divided by 4, 12 times 48, 1.2 and 0. Okay, so 12.25 into 8 minus 5 into 3. Now we are going to do multiplication. 6 plus what is 0? 98. Yeah, equals to, oh sorry, not equals to, into minus 5 into 3. Okay, next we are going to do the next multiplication, which is 5 into 3. So we'll say 6 plus 98 minus 15. Now we'll do addition or subtraction again based on whatever is first on the left hand side. So 6 plus 98, 104 minus 15, and the final answer would be 89, right? So if you all got the answer 89, then great, good job. If not, keep practicing. I'm sure you'll learn that. Okay, let's continue now. So today we are going to start our topic with the input function in Python and the usage of comments. So in Python, we use the input function to interact with user for an input. The input from user gets assigned to a variable. So basically what this means is input function allows you to take an input, a dynamic input from your user and assign that value to your variable. So until now, what we saw in our previous videos when we were defining variables like a equals to 3 or a equals to 5 or pay equals to 10 or hours equals to 40. And then what we were doing, we were using those variables to perform some operation. But now, instead of assigning a constant variable, we are going to have a dynamic variable where the user gets the authority to give the value to the variable. And then we take that variable and perform certain task out of it. Okay, and we'll look at that in a few minutes when we practically look at the input function. Comments, anything in Python that is written after the hash symbol is treated as a comment, and comments do not get executed. The usage of comments is when you have those huge complex programs written to perform some application level work that you perform, right? So when you use comments to define what each piece of your code is doing, you might have used multiple functions, you might be performing different operations. So when you add a comment to define what exactly is happening in a particular piece of code, it helps when you're next time you're going to do some kind of upgrade and you need to update the code, then it helps you to understand, okay, what each piece of code is doing. And it also helps in when you're troubleshooting, right? You can understand from the comments what code is doing, and it helps you to troubleshoot and narrow down where exactly the problem is, right? You can also use comments to write other information like code, who is the author of the code, what are the support details, like who is the operations team or which team handles any kind of issue. So you can give all those details also, right? And code is also used if you want to inactivate a piece of code. It can be a single line of code or a multiple lines of code. You can use the hash symbol to make it inactive so that when next time the Python runs, it doesn't execute that commented out code. Okay, so let's quickly look at an example also. Let me bring up my editor. All right, let's get rid of this and let's comment this out. And so for input, okay, let's do this. We'll create a variable by name name, and we'll say input. So we'll use the input function, and then we'll open and close the bracket, and in there we'll say enter. Oops, what happened there? Sorry. Enter the name of the student. Next we'll say subject equals to, again input, enter the subject, and then we'll say marks, input, enter the marks, and then we'll do a print command, a print function to say, let's do a f string, and we'll say name scored marks, oops, marks, marks again, just to type it, in the subject, and let's call the variable subject. Now, when I execute this command, so first thing it does is it creates an input for me to and asks me to enter the name of the student. So let's say Tiger. Enter the subject, hunting. Enter the marks, full marks, 100. So what it does, it takes those inputs and then replaces those variables with those values, and then it types out Tiger scored 100 marks in the subject, hunting. Okay, I hope with that the input function is clear and how exactly the input function is used and what is the use of it. And now about the comments, right? Now this code, if we have to say someone who doesn't know Python, if they want to, if they look at this code and it's a complex code and you want anybody who looks at the code to understand what exactly is happening, you can use comments. So you just put the hash symbol and you'll say we are taking a user input for name, then we'll say here we are taking the input for subject. Oops. Now we are taking down the marks. Oops. Let's print all this now. Okay. Okay. Now if I execute this again, okay, again, let's do the same thing. Tiger hunting 100. See, the code gets executed. So adding a comment doesn't impact the code in any ways. So its comment is as good as it's not there in the code. It's just for us for reference. So that's the usage of comments, and this helps when you're writing, again, like I said, huge codes. which will be very helpful to understand each piece of the code what it's doing. Okay, let's move on. So the next topic that we are going to cover is program flow. A program flow is a set of instructions which perform a task. Think of it like installing a trampoline or a recipe to cook your favorite food, right? If you want to install the trampoline or you have to cook your favorite recipe, you need to follow some step-by-step instructions. Like for trampoline, you need to first gather all the equipment together, then you first build the base, and before building the base, you screw all of those together, which is a very painful task. It's a very painful task. So when once you have fixed the base, then you put the trampoline on top of it, and then you build the walls, and then you let the kids jump on it, right? So it's a step-by-step process. So think of program also in the same way. It's like certain set of instructions which the program is going to perform, right? Now how does it do that? There are different ways it does it. There are programs which are just sequential steps. There are programs which are conditional steps. There are repeated steps, and then there are safe steps, which we basically call as functions, which we use multiple times in a program, right? So let's now look at the sequential steps. Okay, so when a program is run, the steps execute one after the other from top to bottom. And I know there is not much writing here, but I thought I just wanted to come up with a different way uh, to show what exactly I wanted to teach, right? So I just came up with this idea where I thought, maybe let's put a piece of code, let's write the complete explanation of it, and then also do our flow chart, old school. But I think it really helps when you're able to create an image of it when you're trying to learn it, and that image kind of sticks, right? So it really helps. So let's just go through this to understand what exactly is happening in a sequential step. We have a code here where in which we are saying a variable a is equal to 3, then we are printing the value of a before, and then we are saying a equals to a plus 3, and then we are saying print the value of a after, right? So what exactly is happening here? We have put the number 3 into a magical chest called a, and then we are looking inside the chest, and we are using the print function to say, hey, what's inside the chest a? And the chest a says, hey, I've got a 3. So it prints 3. Then we are doing a operation on it, and we are adding some kind of magic to it, and we are saying a become a plus 3, right? Now what happens is the chest a, it already has a value of 3, so it adds 3 more to it, and then the value of it changes to 6. Now we ask again, hey chest a, what is your value now? What is inside now? And chest responds, now I've got a 6. So this is what happens in sequential steps. It performs certain instructions step by step from top to bottom. Okay, now let's also just practically do this and look at it. All right, let me maybe create a new file. I'll just say steps, right? And now what we'll do is we'll say a equals to 5. And we'll say print okay, the the value of a, the a which is the variable before any operation is, let's call the variable a. We're going to print this. Then we are saying a equals to a plus 10. And now we are saying print, open a f string, saying the value of the variable a after the addition is, let's call the variable again. Okay, now let's print this. Let's execute this and see. It executes. The value of a before any operation is 5. The value of variable a after the addition is 15. So 5 plus 10, 15. So this is how the sequential steps execute. They just go step by step, right? Okay, so with that, we will stop for today. And in the next topic, which is going to become very interesting when we go into conditional steps and the repeated steps, that's where Python becomes more and more powerful, and you all will see that in the next videos. All right, so take care. All of you stay happy, keep smiling. Bye bye.